Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of the WayBack Movies Podcast, a show where we review the best and not so best of 80s and 90s cinema, because really, fuck the 2000s. My name is Steve, and with me on this crazy journey,
Justin.
Doctor.
Doctor.
And we're back.
To end things.
To end...
For February.
Yes. So as we've stated all month, we were doing Black History Month, trying to focus on films made by African Americans and starring African Americans. So here we are with the final film. You want to bring that? This was your call, man. You wanna go on this or what?
The Meteor Man.
Yeah, this was
written, directed, produced, and starring the same guy.
Yeah.
So passion project.
Very much so. And you could tell when you watch this movie, it's definitely this is what he wanted, and he managed to get it.
Yep.
It is interesting. We'll get to it later on, but yeah. So, did we want to talk about the Oscars?
No.
I didn't think so, because who cares?
Don't
really?
care.
No. Oscars have never been good, so why are we going to start now?
Nope.
So
we might as well just jump right in.
You want to just go back in time, and I, of course, lost the keys to the Wayback Machine yet again, because that's what I always seem to do every week. Oh, there they are. Okay. So, we are going back to August 6th, 1993. Eventually. When the damn thing starts work. There we go. Whoa. So there we are. 1993. Yeah, it's just 1993. Really wasn't all that spectacular.
Still in the layover of the 80s.
Kinda, yeah. Although we are starting to get into our own sort of look. A lot of flannel flying around.
Not in this film.
Not this film, no. This film is the definitely very interesting as far as its presentation. This film looks and could only have been produced in 1993. It has a certain feel to it, and if you watch the film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's just a certain early 90s feel to a lot of movies, and this definitely has that. In attempting to find a clip to start this episode, and I do mean attempting because it was a fucking rough go of things, I watched the trailer, and I remember it very well. It was, they advertised the fuck out of this movie.
It did not help.
Did not work at all. But, so either way, we will get into the nitty-gritty of the film itself. So, like I said, Meteor Man, written, directed by Robert Townsend, produced by Robert Townsend, Laretha C. Jones, and Christopher Holmes. Production company, Tinsel Townsend Studios.
Do you get it?
Passion project. Distributed by MGM, because he had a fucking genie in a magic lamp. Box office of $8 million against a budget of $30 million.
Oops.
Ruh-roh. Yeah. So, cast as expected. Robert Townsend plays Jefferson Reed, the Meteor Man. Marla Gibbs plays Maxine Reed. Robert Guillaume as Ted Reed. Eddie Griffin as Michael Anderson. James Earl Jones as Ernest Moses.
You gotta take a breath, because this cast is...
There's a guy. There's a guy.
We should just cover this.
Okay, yeah, we forgot to mention this. So there's a small part in this film.
I'll take this.
Okay, you go for it.
I'll take this, because you're clearly like,
I don't want to say it.
So, here's how it's going to go down from now into the future of this podcast.
Yeah, because this is something that's going to come up.
Because it's going to come up. There are going to be actors that in real life are human garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair to exclude movies that include these people.
No.
Now, we're going to try our best here and, in, like I said, in the future to maybe not pick a movie that's starring
Yes.
said people.
We will try our damnedest. But eventually,
no promises.
Eventually, even that we will have to go away from because
No
it just
promises.
will have to happen.
No
Unfortunately.
promises.
Yes.
But it's just we want to cover our own asses here, just in case anyone is going to be upset because that might happen.
Yes.
This movie has Bill Cosby in it.
It does.
So
yeah,
people like him. There'll be other actors who I'm sure we'll have to cover eventually.
There's no way around it. Sometimes
there's no way around it. Thankfully, he's got a small part in this movie, so we don't have to cover it too much.
No.
But there are going to be movies, now and in the future, that are going to have people like Bill Cosby in it.
Yeah, and unfortunately we can't ignore him because he does play a pivotal role. Albeit small, it is still pivotal in this film. So
we are going to, like I said, as a caveat, we are going to be doing movies that have people like Bill Cosby who have done just unspeakable things in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bill Cosby as Marvin.
Yeah.
ABC, another bad creation, as the Junior Lords. Roy Fagan as Simon Kane. Frank Gorshin, TV's The Riddler, as Simon Kane.
Nope, Mr. Byers.
Why did I have it as Simon Kane?
I don't know.
I accidentally wrote it twice. My apologies.
Mr. Byers.
Mr. Byers, yeah. No, I wrote it down twice as Simon Kane. You'd think I would have noticed that. Oh, well. Luther Vandross as Jameson, because reasons.
He's just in it.
Yeah.
There's no words.
Sinbad as Malik, because you have to get Sinbad in a movie. Big Daddy Kane as Pirate. Don Cheadle as Goldilocks. Tommy Lister Jr. as Digit. No, he was not.
Nope, he was tiny. He was Tommy Tiny Lister.
Yeah. Faison Love as Maurice. John Witherspoon as Clarence James Carter III. Chris Tucker as the voice of the MC in the Mall. And Cypress Hill and Naughty by Nature as the Blood and the Crips. Seriously.
There's a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah, there is. And also, again, I have to point out Cypress Hill and Naughty by Nature as the Bloods and the Crips. That's just hilarious.
Yeah.
So, some info on the film. Robert Townsend, mostly known for directing, writing, producing The Five Heartbeats, as well as directing Eddie Murphy Raw. Used to watch Spider-Man cartoons and the 66 Batman TV series. Later said he wanted to be the first African-American superhero. That was how he was able to assemble such a famous cast. And Robert was trying to hit as many sides of the entertainment industry as possible by getting actors as well as musicians.
I mean, he must have, as a fan of the 66, to land Frank Gorshin, he was probably he was probably following around like a puppy dog. Like,
exactly.
I love you, Mr. Gorshin, you're the greatest.
And if you know, and we did briefly, we never finished it, but we did start doing a Batman 66 podcast, and it was definitely hands down proven that Frank Gorshin was the single greatest villain on that show.
Yeah.
He played the Riddler. And if you haven't seen Batman 66 or think it's too dopey, whatever, just go back and watch a bunch of Riddler scenes. The man is spectacular.
But you could see that he obviously got most of that. Most of this movie is in that tone.
Oh, absolutely. He was definitely going for that type of
like
feel
big comedy.
To it. Yeah, but with a very 90s flair to it. Mm-hmm. He had hoped it would be a franchise. No duh.
I'll tell you right now, 8-year-old Justin also thought was hoping it would be a franchise too.
Yeah, well, not so much me, but that's cool. Townsend was criticized for wanting to make a kids movie after, and I'm not sure this was a kids movie, but apparently it was, after The Five Heartbeats. He responded with, "But I'm still a kid and I like superheroes," which that's the best answer ever.
Yep.
Because I'm still a kid and I like superheroes, so can't get down on him too hard for that.
Nope.
A lot of people passed on the movie before the MGM got around. No shit. Robert Townsend named his character's real identity, Jefferson Reed, after one of his childhood heroes, his favorite teacher. Robert Townsend also played a superhero in the Disney Channel original movie Up, Up, and Away, playing the Bronze Eagle, which I've never seen that, but I thought that was kind of interesting, and he got to play a superhero twice.
Missed opportunity. Could have been the Meteor Man. He owns the rights.
You know what? In all honesty, he probably should have done that. That kind of would have worked. This definitely.
It would have been like a reference that like 3 people would have got. But...
Yeah, but you know what? That probably would have pissed somebody off because like, oh, there's gangs in that movie or some such nonsense. Because that's the world we live in, unfortunately. Movie is rumored to have gone through many rewrites and changes while in production, resulting in many plot holes, including the exact abilities that Meteor Man has, as well as subplots involving Jeff and his personal life, including his fears, which is kind of true. But we'll get to that in a minute and a little bit, because like that did kind of occur to me. I was like, oh, we're just gonna drop that. Okay, we're cool. Many scenes appeared in the script and possibly could have been filmed, but did not appear in the final film. These scenes include Simon asking Meteor Man to join him while they're both trying to get to the meteor, with Meteor Man saying, of course, never. A scene where Jeff, losing his powers, attempts to save a cat but can't fly. When he finally gets off the ground, he catches the cat but falls. This is witnessed by a squirrel and... What?
No, by
Squirrel. Sorry,
the character Squirrel.
Yeah, sorry, I literally corrected myself when there wasn't needed one. Squirrel and Dre.
That'd be hilarious to be like, and he was surrounded by a squirrel.
In this movie, would you be surprised?
No, I would not.
In all honesty, it's so simple. You just cut to a squirrel, like just watching him fall. Come on.
Yeah.
Shit writes itself.
Yeah.
Squirrel and Dre, who are about to tell this information to the Golden Lords, but then are stopped by Jeff. Which, how would he stop them if he has no powers? Also a scene where Jeff gets over his fear of heights, and a subplot involving Jeff's relationship with his ex Stacy is missing.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
this movie did not need a romantic subplot. No, I'm glad there wasn't one.
No, it didn't. Although I would have liked the one where he got over his fear of heights, because that kind of disappeared, and you're just like, but when? Okay.
Yeah, because we'll get
that was what I was talking about. But yeah. Tiny Lister, Faison Love, LaWanda Page, John Witherspoon, and Chris Tucker would all appear together 2 years later in Friday, movie we covered last week.
Yep.
Which is why their names were all in the credits that I listed, because I just found that funny. The original ending had a more confident Jeff standing up for himself and his community, and using his role as a teacher to better everyone's life. He then gets approached by Michael, who tells him that an even bigger piece of the meteor that hit him was found in Arizona. The two then agree to buy plane tickets so that Jeff can get his powers back and once again become Meteor Man. This is followed by Michael trying to talk him into letting him get some power from the meteor so he can be his sidekick. It then ends with Michael throwing out names to him such as Comet Boy, Chocolate Thunder, and the Flying Wonder.
Chocolate Thunder.
Chocolate Thunder.
Is money.
Yes, it is. Also probably a good porn name. Just saying.
Yep.
Robert Townsend still has the suit hanging in his closet. Because that's what you do.
Yeah, it's his. He is the Meteor Man.
Yeah. It received a Saturn Award nomination for Best Science Fiction Film. But it lost in 1993. Can you guess to what?
1993? Mm-hmm. Just trying to go through a Rolodex of what came out in 1993. Aliens?
That was 1986.
Was that Aliens? Was 80? Oh yeah, because I forget.
Alien 3 was 93.
I don't know.
Nobody was
1993. I'm not sure.
It was a tiny little minuscule film called Jurassic Park. Science fiction. Dinosaurs.
Yeah, made by science.
Made by science.
You know what throws me? It's just whenever I hear science fiction, you immediately go to aliens or something in space.
Ironically, though, but I would never consider Alien
that's a
science fiction movie. I call it a horror film, and I don't call Aliens a science fiction movie. I call it an action movie. So,
but you know what I mean?
Same with the Terminator. But I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But those are technically sci-fi movies, even though I would never call them.
But if you go by the actual definition of science fiction,
it's there, but I wouldn't go with it. Same with
Jurassic Park would be.
I would call it I would call it technically. I would call it an adventure film, but it is technically a science fiction movie.
Yep. Tales of fiction created by science.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'd call this one, Meteor Man, a science fiction film.
They didn't have like a superhero thing, so all superhero movies were science fiction.
Fair enough.
Not to mention he got his powers from a meteor. I mean, you don't get much more sciencey than that.
So, the Meteor Man, starting